Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com. If you enjoy our show, don't forget to help us out by subscribing to this podcast, sharing it with a friend, and providing us with a review on iTunes. Check out the show notes below for the link. Thanks, and enjoy the show.
As you might remember, we covered a story about the Big Four accounting firms taking advantage of insecure overachievers by pushing them to their limits. And today we're going to be talking about the side effects of that by going over another news story that came out this past week. On the heels of that story came a collection of other news stories from the Australian Financial Review that decided to run a few pieces on issues with mental health in the workplace. Interestingly enough, guess which workplace created the most content for the Australian Financial Review's mental health issues? Of course, it was the Big Four. And this just goes to show that the Big Four accounting firms can be a mentally taxing place to work. More and more pieces come out every day about the negative impacts of the Big Four on mental health. But what is good about the Australian Financial Review articles is that they show how to live with mental health, and they don't just talk about how bad it is that people have to deal with it. And I'll include links in the show notes to the AFR pieces on mental health so you can review them on your own time. Now, the first piece that I wanted to talk about on mental health was about a Deloitte partner. And this guy's story is basically a dream story for most Big Four professionals or people that want to become a Big Four professional. He was having an amazing career at Deloitte, in Deloitte's risk practice in Australia, and his name is Adam Berenger. He came right out of college and immediately hit the ground running, and he kept on running. In fact, he ran so fast that he made partner before the age of 30. Now, that's what many competitive Big Four professionals wish for. They hope to make partner as fast as possible, and that's exactly what Adam did. He made partner in less than 10 years. And you are likely saying, how can this guy be mentally ill if he made partner at one of the most prestigious companies in the world? Well, the problem with working at a blistering pace in the Big Four is that you can never slow down. People always expect more out of you, and you always expect more out of yourself. And Adam expected so much from himself that he seemingly gave himself a heart attack on a domestic flight in 2011. He had to be taken off a plane in a stretcher. But he actually wasn't having a heart attack though. He was having a panic attack from anxiety. And he said that he gave himself the panic attack by trying to do everything himself. As you might know, being a partner at the Big Four is a lot of responsibility and comes with a lot of work. You can't possibly do everything yourself. You have to delegate. And at some point it became just too much for him, and he gave himself a panic attack. And his fellow partners told him to take some time off, so he did. And he saw a psychologist. And he said that helped him so much that he thought he cured himself, so he stopped going to therapy for a while. Unfortunately, it didn't, so he had to go back and he had to start using tools to prevent the attacks from happening again. He now admits that the worries will likely never go away, and the way he manages his anxiety is through every morning rating his anxiety on a daily basis from 1 to 10. Some days it's a 2 and some days it's an 8, he says. He also checks in with his trusted colleagues to get their perspective on his worries so that he doesn't spin himself out of control. And he also uses physical exercise to get rid of some of his anxiousness. And he also tries to get rid of some of the most challenging tasks on his to-do list early in the day so that he doesn't feel anxious about them throughout the whole day. Now, what are my views on all of this? I think that mental health is a serious issue. I also think that mental health issues are very hard to deal with at the Big Four because I think that the type of work that the Big Four does causes many mental health issues like anxiety. The Big Four often treat their employees like robots. Employees are measured on how many hours they can work each day, and it's important that many of those hours end up being profitable for the firm. The more profitable you are to the firm, the better employee you seem to be. The Big Four also promote a culture of constant promotion. At the Big Four, you can get promoted every 2 years or sometimes even sooner in Adam's case, where he made partner in less than 10 years. And that isn't really a calming environment if you're trying to be profitable for the firm every single waking hour of the day, and you're competing against your fellow coworkers and teammates. This breeds a culture of constantly worrying about being chargeable, and also filling up your schedule with stressful tasks. And you also work on clients that need deliverables every single day and also expect the best out of you. And clients can also be very critical of the work they receive and aren't quick to hand out positive feedback. All of this leads to a stressful environment. And what I liked about this Australian Financial Review article is that it gives out some tips for how to manage anxiety. And do I think these are helpful? Yes. I think some of them are very helpful, but I think there are a few more, and I'll cover some of my tips on how to manage anxiety in a future podcast. So make sure to subscribe. And my tips will not only help you manage your anxiety, but they'll also help you boost your brain power. Wanted to take a quick break today to tell you about our Big Four interview course. Did you know that only 4% of candidates get into the Big Four? That's right, only 4%. Deloitte gets about 500,000 applications a year, and only 4% of those candidates get in. Well, we want to help you get a job at the Big Four. We want to help you be part of that 4% by preparing you for your Big Four interview, and we think we can do this with our Big Four interview course. Our Big Four interview course provides you with all the important things that you need to do to prep for your Big Four interview. This includes research on all the Big Four that's prepared for you, and also guidance on how to conduct more specific research on the firm and practice you'll be interviewing with. We also walk you through interview questions and how to answer those interview questions the way the Big Four professionals will want them to be answered, among other valuable insights into the Big Four. And if that isn't enough, we offer a PDF of 100 additional Big Four interview questions and a Big Four resume template. You've invested in your accounting education, and you invest in your accounting exam, whether that's a CPA exam or another course. So why not invest in a Big Four interview course to help you nail the Big Four interview? Check out the link to the Big Four interview course in the show notes to learn more.
We appreciate your help in growing this podcast so we can continue to bring you the best Big Four content possible. You could help us out by providing a review on iTunes, sending us an email with your comments, and don't forget to share with your friends. There's a link below in the show notes. That's our show for today. Thanks for listening and have a great day.